Abraham Lincoln, a man many consider to be the finest president in American history. The man who triumphantly guided a divided nation through a bloody civil war, who performed speeches that to this day are heralded as some of the best oratory in history, and who fought to end slavery, was assassinated by a Confederate sympathizer and famous actor named John Wilkes Booth on April 14, 1865. A headline for the ages. Lincoln was attending a play at Ford's Theater when Booth slipped into the presidential box. He then aimed his pistol at the back of Lincoln's head and pulled the trigger. Booth then escaped the theater and bedlam ensued. Newspapers across the country scrambled to receive news of the incident. Reporters were eager for any morsel of information they could come across. The Washington Evening Star posted the next day the hourly dispatches that Edwin Stanton, then Secretary of War, sent out. At 3 a.m. on April 15th, the update read, "The President still breathes, but is quite insensible, as he has been ever since he was shot." He also kept updates on Secretary of State William Seward, who was attacked at his home the same night by a co-conspirator of Booth's. Although the overall accounts of both Lincoln and Seward's assassination attempts were impressively accurate, rumors were apparent in early reports. Newspapers reported that Seward would most likely not make it through his injuries. Miraculously, he did. There were several rumors reported that Booth was captured on April 15th, but in reality, the hunt for Booth took 11 days. He was finally killed by authorities on April 26th. The newspapers also reported on the reaction of people who had heard the news. An Associated Press account stated, "The entire city last night presented a scene of wild excitement, accompanied by violent expressions of indignation and the profoundest sorrow. Many persons shed tears." However, not everyone was sad to hear of the president's assassination. Several Southern reporters, including those at the Herald of Demopolis, Alabama, were ecstatic to hear of the president's passing. The headline of the Herald read, "Glorious news." Many Southerners rejoiced that the man they despised was dead. Overall, newspaper reports were surprisingly accurate and well written in the small time frame after the catastrophe. Accounts of both Lincoln and Seward were shockingly detailed and timely, most coming the very next day. Detailed comprehensive reports came out soon after Booth's death of the entire event, including the 11-day manhunt for Booth. Although reports were missing interviews and description like one would see in features today, early accounts were factual and timely. One of the most shocking events in U.S. history was covered well by journalists. Hopefully U.S. journalists will not have to cover another presidential assassination.